I see us.
And yeah, I think, all right.
Woo.
We are on here.
Ooh.
Hey.
Okay. Can everyone see the chat and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. I'm going to go put in the description, and everyone, Ashley is going to tell us all what's happening tonight.
Hello, everyone. I am Ashley. My channel name is Ashley's Little Library. And I'm going to be kicking us off, letting you know what we'll be doing over the next hour and some time. So we are going to be starting off. We'll just chat a little bit and talk about how the readathon's been going. So definitely let us know in the chat what you've been reading, how it's going for you so far. And then we will be doing a 1 hour reading sprint. So we'll probably read for about 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and then read for another 30 minutes. And then the piece de resistance, we are going to be telling spooky stories in the dark together. So we are all super excited. We've got a couple other people here on the live stream with us. So we will just give some time to go around and let everyone introduce themselves. So I'll kick it over to Jordan, our other co-host, to introduce herself and her channel.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the live show. I'm Jordan. I'm so excited to be one of Jacqueline's co-hosts for this first round of this readathon. I'm having so much fun. I have a booktube channel called Sorry Booked Solid. I do very similar content to Jacqueline and a lot of the other booktubers in this realm. A lot of reading blogs, themed reading blogs and challenges, and then just other typical like reading recommendations and videos like that. I just recently joined the Bookstagram community and having fun with that. Yeah, and I love anything and everything bookish. So this is a really fun event. So excited to do this live show and get a little bit further in the buddy read because I'm slacking a bit.
I know. Not that it's a bad book, though. Okay?
No,
we are not saying
so far. You know, life and kids and all those things that get in the way of reading.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think that like everyone knows me. You're on my channel, so we're not even going to talk about me. We're just going to skip right on over. Let's see. Elizabeth, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I will go next. Hello, I'm Elizabeth. I'm also really excited to be part of this. It's my first live show ever. And yeah, so I'm just really happy to be here. I do have a YouTube. It's Reading Riley, also Instagram. And I love thrillers. I love thrillers, mystery, horror. Just recently gotten into horror. So I'm really enjoying kind of exploring that new avenue. But yeah, I'm excited for this live show, for this readathon, and thanks for having me here.
Thank you for wanting to join.
Absolutely.
I gotta go subscribe. All right, Katie, do you want to go next?
Hey, I'm Katie. I'm from Scotland, so I sound a little bit different from everybody else. I am part of Jacqueline's book club, and if you're not part of that, please join. Well, apply to join because it's so much fun. I've never done a live show before. I do not have a YouTube, but I do have a Bookstagram, and I love thrillers, mysteries. I'm getting on quite well with this readathon. I've just reread The Wives by Taryn Fisher, and I'm just starting Infinite, so I'm slacking a little bit more than everybody else with the buddy read, but I'll get there.
Yeah, I even have to figure out where I'm at in that book.
Well, I'm on page 1.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit further. Because sometimes I'm listening to the audio, but I was like cooking dinner, and then I'm like, wait, now I have to go figure out where I am in the book. So,
I feel like this is such a hard one to do on audio. I don't know how you're following it.
because it is.
It is a
crazy.
little hard to follow on audio. I actually had to listen to I think I listened to chapter 3 twice because I wasn't like quite paying attention at first for chapter 3. And then I was like, okay, let me get the book out and let me like sit and actually focus. But now that I'm like in the story more and I understand what's going on, it's a little bit easier for me to like listen to like sections while I'm doing something because I'm like, okay, I know who that is now. But at first, like starting an audiobook is so hard for me if I don't like have the book or if it's not like done super well.
I agree.
Thank you, baby.
Laura, you can go next.
All right. Hi, my name is Laura. My channel name is Laura's Little Library. I have a YouTube channel and I will read anything that is fiction, whether it's middle grade, YA, even a little bit of new adult. I have recently been diving into more mystery, thriller, horror, but I plan on spamming the next 2 months of my reading life with those genres, as I have recently discovered that I do actually like them quite a bit.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's cool.
I'm
I
really
always
excited.
love when we bring someone over to the dark side.
Yeah. And actually it was Ashley's channel that I stumbled across at one point and watching one of her videos, I was like, oh my word, wait, that actually sounds interesting.
That's so cool.
So I'm very
I'm so
honored to
honored.
be in my very first live show with a booktuber who has inspired me. So
Oh, that's so cute.
I'm so honored to be the one who have brought you to the dark side.
dark side is better.
All right, let's see. Barbara.
Hello, my name's Barbara, and I also have a YouTube channel called Barb's Bookland. I'm relatively new, but I'm also part of Jacqueline's Book Club and get chatting to these lovely ladies almost every day there, so it's quite nice. Just going back to Laura there about booktubers that inspire you. Jacqueline was the first booktuber I found about a year and a half ago. Literally was
Yeah,
the
it's
first
been a
person
while.
I watched. Jacqueline, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And just I opened a can of worms big time there because literally I love it, absolutely love it now. So I'm off work this week, which is great, because usually when I do a readathon I'm working and I don't get to read too much. We all know what that's like. But I have finished 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. Give it 5 stars, absolutely loved it. And I'm on now chapter 5 of Infinite. So I'm hoping to get a good ways through this during the sprint. So
I think once you
Thank you.
start getting to like chapter 8 or so, it seemed to like, okay, like twist or like reveal, like slow. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'll be
you're
doing that
almost
on the
there.
sprints then. Good.
Yes. Okay, Lauren, you're last, I think.
Hello, I'm Lauren. I have an Instagram and a baby booktube, Lauren Love Reads. And yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. I also obviously love thrillers and am new to the horror genre. I just watched, Ashley, your newest video. I think it was your newest video of all the recommendations. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have so many to add to my list, but I'm also scared still, like putting my toe into the genre. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here. And I just finished Infinite and I really liked it. It was really good.
Yay.
Good. Wow. So you actually finished it.
I know.
Ew.
I know. I don't know how, but yes, I did.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Lauren, starting with the horror, maybe skip the dark and disturbing section of that video.
Yeah.
Save those
Yeah.
for later.
Well, that's kind of like what intrigues me. Like, I don't know, that like the weirdness aspect of it. I'm like, I want to, but I don't know yet. So it's interesting to me, intriguing.
I feel like I need to dip my toes still in horror because like
Yeah.
I've read some books that are like, I would only call them though like slight horror because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
thriller horror, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't like completely like dove. But I also haven't really seen any horror books where I'm like, oh yeah, like that's the one. Yes.
I think the thing is too, like there's so many different type of horror novels. Like there's so many different like subgenres. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Is anyone else, as far as this buddy read goes, I feel like it's kind of the in-between book. Like if this were like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? You would have like Blake Crouch on one side and the Midnight Library on the other side, and then Infinite is right in the middle.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
right.
I
I mean,
keep
it's
thinking
like-
about the
Yeah.
Midnight Library. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
haven't read
not
that.
like super sci-fi, but it also is. But it's also
Yeah.
gives me Midnight Library vibes, where it's got that kind of regrets in life, and that going to that the place that he goes is kind of like the Midnight Library, the art museum in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
I must
I was
just be
thinking
really
of
big
that.
fans of that type of book, because the Midnight
Mhm.
Library I really liked, and then Dark Matter is like one of my favorites. So it's like, just give me all of the books that are like that, please.
I love
Yeah,
those
if
too.
it says parallel universes or alternate realities,
Yeah.
I think I've given
Yeah.
it 5 stars.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel that way. Like, I just love like time travel stuff too. Like, I feel that way even with movies. Have you guys seen like The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt?
Mhm.
It's on
Just
Amazon Prime.
watched it.
It's so good.
Just watched it.
If you like
Word.
end of the world apocalypse, but then also like time travel, it's like
Oh.
it's
Hmm.
good. It's
Cool.
very
And
good.
it seems like your typical time travel war, like it seems very typical in what it is, and then you reach like halfway through and it takes a whole nother turn. You're like,
Yes.
that's right, these things
Yeah.
are important.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Those so good.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
But if you
too.
don't like
too.
time travel, like you're gonna hate it, because my little sister, she actually like doesn't like the time travel and stuff. She's like, it just doesn't make sense. And I was like raving about the movie, and she was like, nope, didn't like it. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that you don't like time travel, so like don't watch it because you'll hate it probably. I'm like, but don't think so hard about it, just enjoy it. Yes.
I feel like that
Funny.
about historical fiction. Like I typically do not read historical fiction, but if it has time travel, if it has some kind of fantastical element or something like that, then I really like it. But generally I don't. But I love a time travel story. Outlander, love Outlander, that type of stuff gets me every time.
I've been
Yeah.
really getting
Yeah,
into like historical mystery. So like there's a mystery happening, but it's historical fiction. And I really like that. But typically not like huge on the historical fiction genre as a whole though.
No, me neither.
No.
Yeah.
Everyone is agreeing about your like Midnight Library and Dark Matter.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I haven't
like-
read either of those. Is that really bad?
Oh, you need to read Dark Matter.
Yeah.
Oh, that means you got
Good.
good things ahead.
I haven't read Dark Matter yet, but that is all anyone is talking about in
Yeah,
our
love
Discord.
it.
And I'm like, it's got to be
Oh.
next up.
It has
Mhm.
huge, like the comparison of Dark Matter to this book is so perfect. Like I was a little bit nervous at first just because I was wondering if it would be too similar, but it
Yeah.
didn't. I mean, I liked it, but
That's what
Yeah.
I'm nervous about too.
yeah.
Yes. All right, let me remove. Okay, some people had asked like how to get into my book club. So I have a book club on Facebook, and I can link it in the description box. We do only like do what would that be called? Like requests in it at the beginning of the month. So you will have to wait until like next month, and that's just because we have a cap on it, because we do a lot of events in there, and we ask people to like actually highly participate. So that's just why we have like some rules, but I will put the link in the description box for you guys if you're interested. It is super, super fun. Like you guys watched the movie. Anybody that was in the Discord for the readathon, like we watched the movie last night and we chatted, and like it was so fun. And like that's the kind of stuff that we do in my book club, where it's like we're pretty tight knit and we do really fun things. We have like Zoom parties and we watch movies together. So it's not all about reading, but it also is a lot about reading. So I definitely love my book club, but I'm a little biased. So why?
We absolutely love your book club as well.
Yeah.
We-
All right, so let me add that in here for you guys.
it's just nice to be part of a book club that's actually participates all the time and there's always a conversation going on. I've been in so many book clubs where you're just like, hello, and there's like an echo. There's nobody else there. You're reading all these books that you're hating because they've been picked for you. Whereas Weeby Booking's totally different. There's so much variation. It's great.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, did you start it? Are you the one? Did you start the book club?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. I was a reader when I was younger. But then like college and working lots of jobs, I like didn't read for many years. And then once I got married and I was trying to like not work so much and slow down a bit and like actually have hobbies, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try and do that reading thing again. And so I went to the library and I was like, I don't even know what any of this is. Like, and I was like, I don't even know what genres are, but I was like, I really want to be able to talk with people because I tried to, my husband is not a reader at all. And oh my gosh, actually Dark Matter is one of the like books that I read when I first was getting back into reading again. And I was like, you're not going to believe what happened in this book. I was like, let me just tell you. And he was like,
yeah.
Yeah,
we all live
like,
with one of those.
Yeah. I was like, how can I tell, like, how can I like talk to people?
Yeah.
Like, okay, Facebook, like I'll start something. And it was like 3 people in there. And like, we never really discussed or did anything because it's just hard, like starting to get people together. But after like a year or so, then it started kind of like becoming more like participation. And I started doing like actual like TBR challenges. And then we got into like, it's very structured now, but from the beginning, it was hard to kind of get everyone together to like do something, you know, but I would never, ever change like not starting it. It's one of my favorite things. So yes,
That's so
super
cool.
fun. Yes. Okay. So let's, from all of us on here, what are you guys currently reading? Because we're going to do a reading sprint. Ashley, did you get to say exactly what kind of, content you make on your channel? I wasn't sure if you just said your channel name or not. Did you
I did not. I just said my channel name. But
go ahead. Tell us
very
all about you,
similar.
girl.
Yeah, very similar to a lot of these ladies. I'm very into the dark side, thrillers, horror. I really like novellas in particular. I have 2 sitting here beside me right now in case I want to pick up a couple more this evening. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I just do a lot of reading blogs or challenges or whatnot, recommendations, the usual stuff. So yeah, I like spooky stuff.
Yeah,
like
you've done, I know that you've done at least 1 cult vlog. So for people that watch me because of my cult videos, you have to go watch Ashley for her cult videos too.
I think I hated all the books in that video though.
But I was like, no, you picked all the bad ones. Here, you read these good ones. Yeah. So now you have to make a part 2 of that one. And be like, I'm actually reading more
real
cult books.
books.
Yeah. Jacqueline's recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, definitely go follow Ashley, follow Jordan. Both of them were co-hosts for this round, and then everyone else's links and theirs are also included in the description box. So don't forget to go click and subscribe, because I just did for everybody, because sometimes when we're talking, you forget, and then later on you're like, oh yeah, I forget what this person's name was, but like I thought that I was going to like their channel, but now I'm not subscribed. And then you have to wait for Facebook or for YouTube to one day put it in your like recommendation. I'm always like, people will maybe tell me about someone else and I'm like, wow, how have I never heard of them? Like, why is YouTube not doing their job correctly? I don't know.
That's how I discovered Ashley's channel. It just like popped up randomly. And I was like, I must be reading a lot of thrillers because
her channel popped up for me and I wasn't reading any thrillers. So I don't know how that connection was made.
It was like, you need this in your life. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So yeah, I'm reading Infinite and I saw a lot of you guys had it. Ooh, the Final Girl support group. Okay.
We'll see.
Where the Briars Sleep. All right. Look at all of us trying to finish the group book here. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're going to read for, let's say 30 minutes. Ashley's gonna pop us back in 30 minutes. I mean, we're all just gonna be sitting here like muted, but she's gonna do a check-in in 30 minutes. So that way we can all kind of like regroup, talk about what we were reading, how far we got, what we're liking, and then we'll go back and read for 30 minutes again. And then after that, we're gonna turn all of our lights off.
Oh,
Well, except for I guess my desktop's gonna have some light on my face, but yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna turn as many lights off as we can, and then somehow read or tell scary stories in the dark. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Hopefully, that'll be in 1 hour and probably 1 hour and 5 to 10-ish minutes. So yes. All right, so I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna put a little message up so that way people know when we're coming back. I'm gonna read.
All right, let's do it.
All right, everyone. Ready for a quick break? I finished Infinite. I have so many feelings.
I'm only on page 96, so don't give too many feelings.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you finished it. Cool. It looks like Marcy also finished it and gave it 5 stars. Oh, you were talking to her. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, enjoyed the journey. Not sure how I feel about the destination of that ending.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm a little past halfway, so I'm 175 pages through. So I think it's definitely getting a little bit more emotional at the this middle part that I'm at. And so I'm actually excited for your book discussion tomorrow, Jordan, in the Discord, just because I think that anytime there are books that are about memories or different lives or whatever, there's always a really good discussion about that. And I think that's why I like reading them, is because whatever the people are going through in the book, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, what if that is how it actually was? Or what if who would I be in a different life? You know what I mean? What if I chose this other? Yeah. That's also why I love Maybe Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you haven't read that and you like alternate reality books, you have to pick that one up, because
I need to read that.
yeah. And then that one's not sci-fi or thriller. It's just, it's contemporary romance, I guess is what it's considered, but still I love the message behind it. And I love that it's kind of a love triangle without it being a toxic love triangle or anything like that.
Yeah, I just hit a twist at page 252 in Infinite.
Oh, okay.
There's a twist on every page.
Yeah.
Got me pretty good there.
Oh, cool. I might be able to hit that one on our next 30-minute sprint, maybe.
Yeah,
Barbara,
I just got to chapter 11.
11, okay.
Yeah, and Jacqueline, you were saying from about chapter 8 onwards, you'll find something. It's definitely picking up now. So
yeah,
really enjoying it. Yeah, really enjoying it.
Yes. Yeah, there was definitely, I don't remember exactly what part I was at, but I was it was yeah, the end of a chapter. I feel like he's really good at writing those little okay, the end of the chapter twist, and then you're well, of course I have to keep reading now.
Hooked you in.
I think some people either love that or hate that.
Or they hate it. Yeah. I love it personally.
I love it. Yeah.
I would much rather have that than read a whole entire book and then they just have this one huge unrealistic twist at the end, and I'm wait, that was it.
Well, I also love the last sentence twists. I love them.
I do like the last sentence twist. Yeah. That book that I read, The Arrangement, last month that I was talking about, that I got from the recommendation was from TikTok. That one was twists all the way through and last sentence twist. I was oh yes.
I need to pick that one up.
Adding that to TBR.
And it's only 222 pages, so to think that you could fit such good content in a small amount and it all be really good. I like that. I prefer it to be condensed, 10 out of 10 content.
Me too.
There.
You know the author on that one? There's a few.
Kirsten Modglin. And she actually has a bunch of thrillers and they're all, I think, in the lower 200 page range. Excuse me. And so I only had one on my TBR, but then next year, once I read through my physical TBR that I have, I already know that there's 2 or 3 books that she has written that sounded so intriguing to me that I would definitely pick up again, or pick up because of the one that I read from her. So
I'm hoping to read that tomorrow, actually.
You're going to read that one tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear your thoughts then. Yes. Yeah, it's really good.
What y'all were saying about the twists at the end of the chapters for this one? It's very much giving me, the writing style is giving me John Mars vibes. I don't know if y'all have read John
Yes.
Mars.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
One, The Passengers. It's very
Yes.
much that short chapters kind of hook you
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
keep you going throughout.
Yep.
You're right. He does do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really liked the one by him. That was
I
highly
love that
entertaining
book.
to me. Yeah.
TV show sucked though.
What?
The TV show. Have you guys seen the adaptation of the
No.
one?
It was bad.
Yeah,
So
I
bad.
tried watching it and I
bad.
was like, this isn't what I thought it
No.
was.
Yeah.
Yes. Has anybody been watching like the Nine Perfect Strangers
Mhm.
adaptation?
I
Is
want
that
to.
good? Because I
Is it
didn't
good?
get the book, so I'm just like, should I watch the show? I don't know.
I haven't
You
read the
DNF.
book, but I always get mad at myself when I give in to watching the adaptation first, because then I'm not as interested in reading the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
But-
that with Big Little Lies.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. You did comment about it because I was like, what? How come you haven't read that book? But
No, I
yeah,
haven't.
if you watch the show, like you pretty much know everything. Because I did the opposite. I read the book and then I tried to watch the show and I was like, this is boring. I already know everything. Like,
I also just watched this show, I think it was on HBO, it's called The Flight Attendant.
okay.
And apparently that's a book as well.
It is.
And I
I've
was-
read it.
I wanted to read the book first, but I couldn't resist. And the show is good. I liked the
Okay.
show.
Okay.
Yeah. I gave
Yeah,
the
I've
book
seen
5
that
stars. It's really,
Oh.
really good. Really,
Mm.
really, really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
We haven't got The Flight Attendant in the UK as far as I know yet. I know it's on its way, but
Okay.
fantastic, fantastic book. Really recommend. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Mhm.
Nice. Oh, yeah. It looks like a lot of people have. Yeah. So not The Arrangement, in case anyone's confused, not The Arrangement by Robin Harding. I read that one too, but it's not as good. It's only like 3 stars. The Arrangement by Kirsten Modlin. Yes. In case you guys are confused. Oh, someone said I'm watching The Stranger on Netflix right now, based off of a Harlan Coben thriller. I've actually never read anything by Harlan Coben.
I haven't either.
Oh, Harlan Coben shows are great. He creates them off his novels, but they're so different than his novels. Okay. Did not know that. By the way, don't recommend watching the movie that we watched last night.
Nope.
No, I had such high hopes for that one because the cast is really, really good. I mean, the actors that are
wonderful.
cast are fantastic, and I
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
It
how
just
did they?
didn't-
How
I
did
don't know,
they get
like,
them on that?
I know.
Sign off
I
on
mean,
that
did
script.
they not read the what's it called, the script, and be like,
Yeah.
no, I just don't want to be
Yeah.
in this, you know?
It's
Oh.
Netflix. Like, I feel like Netflix is like, so like there can be some really, really, really great shows, but usually you hear about them because everyone is watching them. They're rated number one, like they're going viral, and then everything else on Netflix is pretty much trash.
Background noise.
True. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
it's bad. I'm sorry, Netflix.
That ending, like what even was that ending?
They make funny
I don't know.
No
like, that
words.
is crazy. Oh my gosh. Like I can't even like, I wouldn't even be able to explain it to anybody. Like I would be like, okay, this is what happens like kind of throughout the story. And then like it just ended.
Yeah. It's like whenever I was
weird
reading,
way.
I'm thinking of ending things, I had to go onto Goodreads and onto Google to check just to see what the ending was and what it was actually about after I read it. And it was a
Yeah.
bit like that for that film. I was like, so what just happened there? And what did I just watch for the last couple of hours? You know, that kind of,
Yes,
I
exactly.
just didn't grasp it at all.
Yeah.
I attempted to immediately describe it to a friend who had walked in the room right as I finished. And I was like, this happened. And then the guy did this and she did this. And my friend was just like, this was all stuffed into one movie.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's like, wait, what?
It's a lot.
I didn't disagree with it as much as everyone else. I think I enjoyed it. I thought there were definitely some scary parts in there,
Yeah.
and like little things when she like walked by the closet or the door or whatever, and the ghost was, you know, there was definitely some
Yes.
disturbing parts in there. The ending, yeah, it was a little bit.
I
but-
loved that we rooted for one of the ghosts. Like
Yes.
just to have that, because I've seen more horror movies than I've read horror books. And so just to have it where like, oh, there's a ghost and I actually side with the ghost. And the ghost also sides with the main character.
Yeah.
We're all on the same team here. I loved that.
Yeah, it definitely was like original in that way because I've never seen a movie that was like that. So that was good. I love how everyone in the comments is like, freaking George.
George. Get out, George.
George.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. I'm just excited too, like to figure out what movie we're gonna watch on the next round. Cause I'm like, okay, it has to be like as entertaining. We need to like hate a character altogether. Like research.
Maybe the goal should be picking bad horror
That's
movies.
true.
Yeah.
Bad ones. And then we just trash them.
Yeah.
Good one, actually.
It is fun.
Oh my gosh. Books and movies queen. She said George can choke. What if we put that on a shirt? George can choke.
Almost did, but then didn't.
Yeah.
Her George.
You know, I've not watched this movie and now I'm like, do I want to? Do I not want to? I just want to know what the George thing is now. That's all I want to know.
I feel like
So much.
if you had a bunch of time, I would scroll back to the beginning of the chat and just watch the movie and just read the whole chat. And like that would be entertaining in itself. Like,
Okay.
I totally would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Are we ready to read for another 30 minutes?
Mhm.
Okay. I want to get to that twist.
All right, everyone.
Jackie's
All your
logging
books.
away.
How's everyone's books going?
Hello.
This book is cray cray. This is crazy. In a good way, in a good way. No, really enjoying it. My first kind of parallel sort of dipping my toe in, if you know what I mean. I've not really read anything like this before, so I was a bit worried in case I wouldn't be smart enough or I wouldn't get it, but it's I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's not too bad to follow. It keeps it a little simpler, easy to kind of know what's going on, at least most of the time.
This group clearly has more recommendations if you end up
Yeah,
loving it.
yeah,
You
definitely.
want more.
I've got a list going here beside me, Jordan. So
Yeah.
I started Blanky. I got like 25-ish pages in and just ended at quite a twist. Interesting just happened. Good stopping point.
That's going to be my next one. So I'm excited to get started on that. Actually, I was waiting on it. I ordered it like a couple days ago and it just came in like a couple hours ago. So I'm excited for this one. I heard of this one from Jordan Reads. I'm excited to.
What's it about?
I was
What is
gonna
that
say,
one about?
I've never heard of it.
Ashley,
before.
do you want to tell them?
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
about this couple who they lose their child. Their baby dies, and they're grieving that, and they've kind of separated for a bit as they're dealing with that. And then they find the baby's blanket in the nursery that they buried the blanket with, that they buried the baby with, and then it gets like haunting. So
Oh,
could be kind of triggering if infant death is not something you want to read about, but it's really well written so far.
and it's a short story.
Yep.
Nice.
Just, I think it's under 100 pages.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like 75 pages.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen or heard about that. I'll have to look that up. I'll just look it up for a year and a half from now.
Yeah. Props to you, by the way. It's a hard challenge, but good for you.
It's fine because like I'm able to like put things on like Goodreads or the Story Graph, and then I'll eventually go back and look at them. So I am glad that I'm like focusing on what I do have, and like if someone is talking about an interesting book, I'm like, okay, yeah, like I will put that on a list and I will look at that list when I get there.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I think it's just good for me to have that like focus on something. I feel better that I have a main focus. So yes.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of you for doing that too. Cause I'm such a mood reader. If I hear about something and I get really excited, I don't know if I could just not pick that up immediately. So good for you.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely times where like people will tell, like there have been times before, like where people will tell me about a book and I get really excited. Or like, for instance, like I got this book for my birthday back in May, and I was so excited, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to love it. I'm going to pick it up right away. And it's now September. And so it's like, even when I had all the best intentions, and that's why like even looking at my shelf and like focusing on my shelf, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that this book was about, this thing that I was really interested in and I really wanted to read about. Why have I not read that yet? Because like then new shinier things come out, and then I'm like, ooh, shiny, and then I'm like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally get it.
Oh, relatable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, okay. So yeah, Jesse was talking about Creep by Jennifer Hillier, and I'm interested because Jar of Hearts, I DNF'd, but then I read Little Secrets and I gave that like 4 stars. So I wonder if Creep would be something I would like.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything from Jennifer Hillier, but I feel like I only hear 4 and 5 star reviews of all of her books.
Yeah. It seems
Were
like
you
a
just
lot of
not
people.
interested in Jar of Hearts, or was there a particular reason why you
Yeah,
didn't
it was very like crime thriller, dense detective, and I don't really like that. A lot of people were like, oh, you just have to push through because the ending's so good. And I'm like, no, if I have to push through a book just to get to the ending, like that, because like for me, a book has to be good like all the way through for me to give it 5 stars. I like if I don't, or if I struggle a lot in the beginning, even if the ending is very good, I'm not going to give it 5 stars. I'm going to give it 4 then, you know? So it's like, oh, if I was struggling so much, I was like, this isn't going to be highly rated. And then it just seems like a waste of time. So yes.
Someone was just talking about Jar of Hearts. It might have been Gabby. Someone just read it and I was like, oh, I need to pick that up. But now that I hear that you didn't like it, I'm a little bit reticent.
I mean, I'm definitely in the minority of everything. Like I'm an unpopular opinion. So don't always take my opinions with a grain of salt. I would definitely say like if a lot of people like something, then the majority of people will like it. I think that I'm just very particular. So
Yeah, I now take all of Jacqueline's recommendations and just flip them. Like,
yes.
I mean, I love you, but like, if you love a book,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Me and
probably
Jordan
not
are
gonna like that
completely
one.
different.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
People like that.
we like all the separate things
Yeah.
in thrillers.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't remember if I told you, Jordan, but like she was like, oh, you should actually make a video about the thrillers that you hated. So that way I can go read all of them and rate them 5 stars. And so I did a bunch of homework and I wrote out, it's like pages of like all of the tropes and like, you know, specific things I hate in thrillers. And then I have books that I read that had those specific things in them. So it's like going to be a hate video and I'm going to get so much crap for it, but it's fine.
No, that's perfect.
Even like
That's
what you
perfect.
just said about like, if it takes the whole book to get to a good ending. I'm like, I will take that good ending. I have to know how it ends. I want to know.
Ew, no. Yeah. And it's so crazy because it's like, okay, when I read Where the Crawdads Sing, I was like, I could literally read 3/4 of this book and put it down and never pick it up again and not care about the ending. Like, I don't know if it's something that I'm not like invested in and I haven't loved from the beginning, I really could care less about the ending, like knowing it or not knowing it. So I don't know, I'm weird like that, I guess.
That book was tough for me too. It spanned her entire life, you know? So it was one of those like super slow burn. And I think going into it, I thought it was going to be more about the mystery too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was just like a tiny bit about the mystery and more about her life, which it was nice and it was fine, but I didn't love it.
Yeah. And like, I liked the parts of her life more than the mystery, but I also like that type of thing if it's like nonfiction and like an actual memoir. So then I had to keep reminding myself and I'm like, no, this is fake. Like this didn't actually happen. So it's actually not as cool anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was fine. It was decent. It wasn't like amazing or anything. So
I think probably one of the best recommendations, Jacqueline, that I've had for thrillers from you is Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson.
yes. Oh,
Your video, your vlog,
Yeah.
making that just made my life.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic.
And it's funny because like
Everybody
a lot of
hates that
people
book.
hated that one.
I
Yeah. Like they were
loved
like, this is trash.
liked
And I
it.
was like, I
it was like an emotional roller coaster. It literally
Yes.
boom, 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 boom. It just kept
It
going
was.
and
It was
going and
super
going and
fast.
going. It was like, give me a break. Can I have 2 pages where something's not happening? Do you know what I am? It was just
Yes.
brilliant. I loved
If
it.
you didn't read
Absolutely
it,
loved
Jordan, you would hate it.
I was just
Typical
about to ask
domestic
if she's
thriller?
read it.
Is it your standard basic domestic thriller?
Well, it is like
No.
domestic, so like you're just not gonna like it.
Yeah, do they cheat on each other?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It's a little more wild.
I'm
I
with you,
feel like.
Jordan.
It's a
I
wild
am
ride.
with you.
That's what we were talking about when we were watching the movie last night. And like Jordan was like, this is literally every domestic thriller ever and every horror movie ever. And for some reason, I'm still always shocked when they cheat on each other. I'm like, what? How dare you?
Anyone know any books or movies where that is not the case?
So that's what, okay, with the arrangement that I was talking about, it's where they're allowing each other to date other people. So I thought that was very interesting because it's not like, oh, having an affair or cheating. It's like, oh, the husband and the wife, they're like, you know what? I think that we should see other people to try and like reconnect our marriage. And so that was like definitely like, okay, I've never read a thriller or not read a good thriller that like had that storyline. And so that was maybe if you're like teetering on whether you like domestic thrillers or not, try that one. I don't know. But I don't know why. I just like domestic thrillers, and most people don't, but I really do actually.
I love a domestic thriller.
Yeah.
Like every now and then for me, I feel like I have to go a while and then I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, I do like these, but I need a break in between.
I need a domestic thriller that has a crazy twist, like Behind Her Eyes.
That was crazy.
boring, then like, whoa.
Wait, have you read Layla yet then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another
I have
good one.
not read Layla. I want to read
me
it.
either.
It's very, to me, it had the same vibes as Behind Her Eyes. Like if you read
Really?
one and liked one, I think you would like the other.
I agree with that.
I did like Behind Her Eyes, and the adaptation of that one was really good too.
Oh, I don't think I saw that.
Oh yeah,
it's very good.
It's on Netflix.
Mhm.
Oh.
Netflix, yes.
Wow, I
Yeah.
did not see that. Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, the movie, it does a better, like when you read the book, the twist is less obvious, but in the is it a movie or a series? I don't remember.
It's
But
a show.
It's a series, yeah.
It's okay. And on the adaptation, it does a better job of kind of sprinkling in that element that I won't say because it's a spoiler,
Big
but like
spoiler, yeah.
where it kind of makes more sense. But in the book, it's more shocking, I felt like. But I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. All right. So let's see. Oh, even Beth was like, yeah, me and her have different tastes in thrillers. I also feel like I have such a different taste in romance. So I'm just throw me away, guys. Like, just don't even listen to me.
No, honestly, your romance recommendations are always so interesting because like sometimes romance, it's just like, okay, we know what's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
I like the more interesting plots.
Yeah. I do want to read more like, what would you call that? Like not all of the regular popular romances. I think I need to just do some like just try out some of the like maybe do a small town romance and like things like that, because I think that the like very highly marketed ones are all in that very same formula, and every single one is just so bland and the same to me. Other people like really like that because they like being able to predict what's happening and stuff, but like for me, I'm like, no. Yeah.
I feel like if you're a romance reader in general, you are character driven reader, because that's really
That's
the only,
true.
that's the strict differentiation between any romance book, because the plot is basically the same. You have two people, they meet, they fall in love, but the difference is the characters and how deep you delve into that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. All right. Should I turn my lights off, I guess?
Yeah, I'll turn mine off.
All right, let's do it.
Nervous.
That's going to be, I hope I'm not scared. Gosh.
Can I just say one thing? It's 3:00 in the morning here, and I'm sitting right in front of my back garden patio doors, which cover the whole of the back of the house. And if I see something coming up or see anything at all, I will literally scream.
Yeah, that's going to be scary.
It's really late.
This is
Maybe
so
that's
fun.
good though.
I'm gonna leave.
Gosh, mine is so
this too
bright. I need
much?
to like, how do I make this
Yeah,
like
how to,
go better?
oh, mine is so not bright. There we go.
Is my backlight too much? Should I turn that out too?
I think you're good. It's whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay. I think it's
However scared you want to get.
I am scared.
I mean, I'm in the dark, but I am here.
I tried to
It's
turn
over,
mine
like,
on like
3.
yellow-ish, so it was like not as bright. I don't know if that worked, like did anything, but oh, some people are like, it's still light outside here. Are you in California or something? I don't know. Yeah. I like my thrillers completely dark. So yeah. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense, Beth. I love how she said up here, she was like, I don't care for cheating in romance, but for a thriller, cheating is fine. The messier, the better.
It's kind of true. I agree.
I'll take messy everywhere. Just make it interesting because I don't want it to happen in my life, but I love reading it happening to other people's lives.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Ashley, do you want to go first or do you want to pick somebody else? I have a list actually of who wanted to do scary stories.
Yeah. Does anybody have something they're really itching to tell? Who thinks they have the best story?
I don't know if I have the best story, but I have kind of a true crime hometown story.
Ooh.
That sounds interesting.
Oh,
Why don't you kick us off?
all right, I'm down. Okay. I took notes, but like
That's okay.
I don't know how well this is going to go. We'll see. So I have a connection. Hold on. I want to do my lighting here. Here.
Okay.
I'm getting scared. It's really good here.
Just start the ambiance here. So my mother had an encounter with a serial killer when she was 17 years old. So I'm going to tell you the story of John Norman Chapman. He's also known as the Michigan Murderer, the Ypsilanti Ripper, and the Co-ed Killer. But this is not the other Co-ed Killer. What's his name? Ed something. So I'm from Michigan.
Me too.
Are you
Sorry.
really?
Ooh.
I live in Texas now, but I'm from Michigan. And my mom went to school at Eastern Michigan University, which is in Ypsilanti. So don't mind my dog. And it from 1967 to 1969. Denny! Oh, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
That always happens in thrillers anyway.
He's barking at his own reflection. There was
Are you
a
sure
series.
it's not a ghost?
It could be a ghost. Oh my God. Hey, no. There was a series of murders that happened around Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti. And there were 7 women in total that died with the age ranging from 13 to 21 years old. 1 was in California, 6 were in Michigan. These women were abducted. They were raped. They were beaten. They were murdered. This guy was so sadistic. And typically they died by stabbing or strangulations, and their bodies were occasionally mutilated as well. So my mom at this time was 17 years old. She was doing summer classes at Eastern. And at the time they knew about the murders that had been happening, but they weren't told the grisly details about it. And so she wasn't super afraid of everything that was going on, but they would talk about it in their dorms at night and say like, oh, do you know what's happening? Make sure you have like a buddy to go to the wherever with to go on campus. And she one day was walking across campus. She had a letter in her hand and she was mailing it to her boyfriend at the time, Ray, who lived in a different state. And so she was going to the mailbox to deliver that letter, and a man approached her. And he pulled up on a motorcycle and he said, do you want to ride? And he was handsome. He had this motorcycle and she was like, he's kind of sexy. And she thought about it, but she had this letter in her hand and she looked down at the letter and she was like, oh, I'm mailing this to my boyfriend. I really shouldn't. And she turned him down. She turned him away. Then shortly thereafter, a girl went missing from that same campus. Her name was Karen Sue Beineman. She was an Eastern Michigan University student. She was last seen alive on July 23rd, 1969. Shortly, the last time she was seen in a wig shop. She had stopped at a wig shop to buy a wig downtown. Later, the proprietor of this wig shop was interviewed, and she said she had talked to Karen, and she saw a man outside on a blue motorcycle. He had short, side-parted dark hair. He was wearing a striped shirt. Karen Susan Beineman said to her, she had two foolish errors in her life. The first was purchasing this wig. The second was accepting a ride from a stranger. She said, I'm either the bravest or the dumbest girl alive because I've just accepted a ride from this guy outside. And she pointed him out to the lady in the store. And this lady later went on to help convict him. But Susan was then later found, this is going to get really graphic, y'all. So if you just be aware, she was later found raped. Her cause of death was strangulation. She also had blunt force injuries to her skull, and those would have killed her as well. They found her torn panties had been forced into her vagina.
Oh my gosh.
She had severe lacerations on her body. She was also forced to ingest some sort of caustic substance, some kind of like acid or something. And her neck, shoulders, and nipples and breasts were all burned with the same caustic substance.
No.
Whatever it was.
No.
So I'm not going to get into the full story of John Norman Collins, but I will say I read this book, The Michigan Murders, goes through it. And there's also another one called The Ypsilanti Ripper. They eventually caught John Norman Collins. He was a former Theta Chi frat brother. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He was a motorcycle enthusiast. He owned a blue Triumph Bonneville motorcycle. And he was currently majoring in elementary education at Eastern Michigan. Prior to that, he had been an honor student and a football co-captain at his high school. There was also something really weird about his murders, where a lot of them were on their period at the time that they died. And it was later found that he was enraged to find that a woman was menstruating. Like, there was something really weird about it, that he was very upset when he would learn that a woman was on her period. He thought it was disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
On August 19th, 1970, he was found guilty of first-degree murder for the murder of Karen Sue Beineman. He was not charged with the other victims, but he was sentenced to life without parole. He said at the time that it was a miscarriage of justice, that he had never met Karen Sue Beineman, that none of this ever happened. And to this day, he still denies it. There is a lot of evidence, of physical evidence. He did this. He's just a complete psychopath and is in complete denial. And he's currently 74 years old and imprisoned at the Marquette Branch Prison in Michigan. And I cannot help but wonder what would have happened if my mom had accepted that ride.
Yeah. That is nuts.
I may not
You wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my hometown ghost story.
That's crazy that like your mom can look back on that one decision and be like, I'm so glad I did not make that decision, or I didn't, make that to.
I know.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Scary. It's really scary.
So moral of the story is, don't go on motorcycle rides.
Don't go on rides. Don't take rides from strangers.
Yeah, don't take rides from strangers. It looks like, someone was asking about the book, and I guess you said it's the Michigan Murders that the story is in.
Yeah, this is by Edward Keyes. The one thing I didn't like about this was that he changed the names of all the victims, so it was kind of hard to keep track. But the other one, I think it's called the Ypsilanti Ripper, does not do that. And I haven't read that yet, but I also want to read that one.
Okay. Wow, Beth said she heard about this on TikTok in the true crime community. I think I need to be on that TikTok because I don't have any true crime on my TikTok, but that sounds good to be able to hear those stories. Wow, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a good
That
one
was
to
a
kick
good
us
one.
off.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Who wants to go next?
I can tell mine, but it's going to be a weak follow up to that. It's not nearly as spooky.
Yeah, you set the bar so high so fast. My story is like rubbish now.
Right.
I'll,
Bye.
I'll lower the bar back down for us, and then we can go back up from there. But yeah, this is just a little spooky story. Nothing ended up ending terribly. I'm still here alive to tell the story. But a couple of months ago, at the start of this summer, we moved out of state, and so we moved up to Philadelphia, which is one of the oldest cities here in the United States. So the house we moved into was built in like the 1800s, super spooky looking, has like a spire kind of castle-y aspect to it. So I was very excited, but also very much assumed it was going to be haunted, and I was for sure going to have an experience here in this house. So when we first got here, everything was fine. It was literally like the beginning of a thriller book or a horror movie, where all of our neighbors kept telling us these stories of the people who lived here before us. And they had a really terrible experience with these people who used to live here. It was a woman and her children, and the one child was going through a really terrible illness, and this is close to the hospital, so that's why they had lived here. And the mom just like smoked cigarettes all day. They had a German Shepherd puppy who was running around like a maniac all day, and like all the neighbors just had terrible things to say about them. And so I was like, oh gosh, the energy of this place, I feel weird, something's gonna happen. And one day we were like starting to put stuff away, starting to unpack, and we have really tall ceilings here. They're like 15 feet or something. And there's like a built-in bookshelf in one part of it. And at the very tippy top, we could see a little bit of like something black kind of peering off the edge. And so I had to get on my boyfriend's shoulders. I think he was like standing on a chair or something too, because we had to get so high up. And I still couldn't see what it was, but I just reached up and felt it and pulled it back very slowly. And it was a huge butcher knife. And I was trying not to freak him out because I didn't want him to drop me because I'm on his shoulders. But I had to just pull it off. And there were two huge ones up there. One was like thicker and one was like thinner and long. And we never figured out what happened. I was worried, like, did they kill someone in this home? Like, is this a murder weapon? And then I found,
my gosh.
I found another like blade of a knife in the backyard like a week later. And we just tried to not get our fingerprints on them. We threw them away and are just hoping for the best.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Oh no.
Yeah, no thanks.
Definitely murder weapons for sure.
Why are there so many?
I thought you were gonna say it was a Bible, like the movie last night.
Oh yeah.
Damned.
Get out.
Gosh. Yeah, that's a no for me.
Yeah. I was like, we'll see if we can stay here very long.
Yeah.
I bet Philly does have a really rich history. I bet there's some really cool stories around there.
Yeah, I really want to do the like haunted ghost tour things. They take you all around to all the spooky old places.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I've
Those are
actually been
fun.
to the what's it called, the Eastern State
Penitentiary.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
Mm.
around Halloween when they make it like haunted and you
Yeah.
walk through
Oh.
it's like a haunted tour. That was fun.
I
That's
went this
cool.
summer for just a regular tour, but then I heard about the October thing. I'm like, I gotta go back.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Oh, Karen said, I don't think that is less scary. I lived in a house in rural Philadelphia area, and we definitely had ghosts built in 1816.
Great.
Very comforting.
I guess that's the thing. Like, I don't believe in ghosts, but I also do not believe in ghosts. It's the fact that like I haven't had any personal experiences, like, and it's like, okay, if something actually happened to me, then I would be like, oh yeah, like they're totally real. And I'm not saying that they're not, because other people have had personal experiences, but it's like I I would just have to see for myself. You know what I mean? Even though I don't want to see for myself.
Are you asking for it?
No, my house isn't that old. I didn't mean it, guys. Go back. Yeah,
I think when
I mean, like,
places-
I'm scared of like the dark. Like, I'm not gonna go outside and like go into the woods. But I feel like I'm more scared of like serial killers and crazy people than I am of like ghosts and haunted things, because I know serial killers are real, whereas ghosts I haven't had like a personal experience. But yeah, like that's definitely scarier in my opinion to have like a real person thing than like
Same.
a
Agreed.
ghost thing.
Humans are terrifying.
They are, yeah. And like the more books that I read or documentaries that you watch or whatever, you're like, oh my, like if someone is legitimately like a psychopath, like they will kill, like they're not gonna think twice about killing you. You're just gone. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just noticed a flickering light across the room from where I am, and it freaked me out for a solid second. I was like, "Oh my gosh,
It's not
what
the
is
clown,
that light?"
is it?
No,
It's nightlight or whatever.
it's a mini light within a lighthouse. We got it from a wedding recently, but I just completely forgot it was on top of my bookshelf. So up at the ceiling, there's this flickering light. I'm like, what?
Is that a window behind you?
That is a window behind me. Yep.
That's scary.
Well, and the thing is while we were reading, I was hearing people talking outside because we're on the garden level. We just moved in, so we don't know anybody. And there would be like people outside, and I'm like,
yeah. That's like my word. Thankfully, because I have really tall, big windows in this house, but thankfully the ones that are like actually down on a level have like they came with blinds, because oh my gosh, like my pet peeve is like, or like something that's super scary to me is when you can't see out of a window in the dark, but people can definitely be watching you and seeing you.
Yeah, that's very comforting. Thank you. Because our blinds are currently turned because I was using the light earlier for some filming, and then I didn't turn them just now because the lights are off and I'm a little creeped out. And every time that someone uses the main door to get in the building, it sounds like they're attempting to open our door because we're right by it.
Oh,
and that's something I've been struggling with since we moved in. It's just making it worse, which is great because I just moved out of an apartment that I hated, and that is going to be upsetting for my scary story when we get there.
Ooh, oh, I can't wait to get there.
Well, you're safe right now, Laura, because your lights are out, so no one can see it.
Yeah, except for that blinking light.
They can see your screen.
I've got my roommate. She can protect me.
Yeah, there you go. And you're live, so we'll all call that.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever watched
you?
That's
Has
like
anyone ever watched the movie The Host?
I haven't. No.
Okay, so it's about this, what we're doing now, and then there's a lady who comes on to bring her on, and it was filmed during lockdown over Zoom. And she comes in and they do a seance, and she just has to go just very quickly. Something's happened. And then she's brought someone in to the houses, okay? But you're watching it as we're sitting here.
What?
Yes, it was. I nearly booked. I was nearly sick. It was just, it was it's only on for 56 minutes or something, but it is legit mental. It is crazy, but it's just this, and you're watching each of them just getting taken out and there's nothing you can do.
Oh no,
that's the scariest story that's been told so far.
It is fantastic. Really, really.
Is this on like Netflix?
Yeah.
Or Amazon Prime.
Oh, I'll have to look it up. Maybe that'll be our next watch.
Oh, Jacqueline, it is just unreal because do you know what? I think horror films for me, when you think it can actually happen, it's like real time and it could happen. That's what really scares me, you know?
Yes.
But,
oh my gosh. Danielle,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
She said there's a very good chance you will have walked past a serial killer in your life, Jackie. What?
There's also a very good chance you've seen a ghost and not known it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have definitely like worked in places where like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's the ghost or whatever." But I usually could like pinpoint like practical reasons as to why something happened. So I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure. Like you guys can call it that." But I have worked in like really old like buildings and stuff. And where I live, we have two pretty old college campuses. So we have like Virginia Military Institute and Washington and Lee University. And so a lot of like we actually have like a haunted tour here that like we've taken before in the town, but the town is small, but it's very like historical. So like a few of my brothers have gone to the Virginia Military Institute, and like they actually say that like it's haunted and like the devil like resides in there and stuff like that, because
my
like so many
gosh.
people died like around here and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's fun. Let's all go outside now.
I know. Can I just say one thing very quickly as well, just
Yeah,
before
go
we go
ahead.
on? Sorry. I know I said I didn't want to tell a story, but I don't really tell many people this, but I lived in a cemetery for 25 years. I grew up in a cemetery with my mum and dad. My dad he started off as a grave digger, and
Wow.
we lived in the house that was the gatekeeper of the cemetery. So it was in the cemetery. I've never seen a ghost. I've never witnessed anything at all.
Yeah.
There's been never any sort of inkling of anything falling off walls or anything like that. But
Yeah.
my dad would have us watching films at Halloween, and we watched it one year, and he asked me to take the bin out down to the bottom of the graveyard in the pitch black, and he hid in the bin with a clown,
No.
a clown face on.
Uh-uh.
And yeah, he jumped out, and I have never watched it, or I've never literally
Oh my
never
gosh,
watched
I
any
can't
more.
believe he hid in that
Yeah.
and made you take it down to the cemetery and jump
Yeah.
out. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh.
try living in a cemetery, guys.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It
Barbara,
was
where did
scary.
you say you were from?
Myself, I'm just outside Belfast in Northern Ireland.
Oh, Ireland. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Katie, you're in
So
Scotland.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
but fun times. It's
Yeah.
not someone you bump into every day that's lived in a cemetery, you know.
Yeah.
But
Oh, we all need to go to Karen's house. She lives near the most haunted road in Massachusetts.
oh wow.
That is crazy. Okay, so if I've walked past a serial killer in my life, how come they didn't choose me?
Let's not question
No.
our blessing.
I just want to know, like, okay, how many in my lifespan, how many serial killers am I gonna walk past? And how does their mind work where they pick their victims? Like, let's just hope I don't fall into any of those categories, I guess.
Maybe you have a guardian angel instead of a ghost.
I'll be like, no, I do not get my period. Stay away from me.
You also don't look like his wife. So you're
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay. Do we want to hear about Laura's old place that she lived in?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, I'm from Michigan, but I'm currently living in Minnesota. And we chose, so this was right after I got married with my husband, and we chose the quickest apartment we could. It was right before COVID. And so we're in this crappy little 1-bedroom apartment. And there are a couple things to know before I get to like the real story. So the first is that one night we accidentally locked ourselves out of the apartment and we're on the second floor. Our solution was to climb up the tree next to our bedroom window, and we had just taken the air conditioner out so you could still kind of climb in the window. And ever since I told my mom that story, she's made me keep a bat by the window, which is completely fair because the window doesn't lock and our neighborhood was full of crime. I lived in Minneapolis, and this is right after the shootings that were a few blocks from where I live. So that already is like a spooky context-ish.
Definitely.
And then the second thing to note is our next door neighbor screams and moans and makes loud noises and hits things or herself. We have no idea what happened. We've never met this neighbor. We just know that any time of day or night, she'll just start screaming, and she'll scream for hours. Her voice won't even get hoarse. She'll just scream and moan and
For
groan
hours. Oh my
for
gosh.
hours. Like when we first moved in, we couldn't sleep at all because we're like, is she okay? Is she gonna stop? Like
Maybe she's a ghost.
is she high? Is she drunk? Multiple neighbors had called the cops on her, and nothing came about that. Like she, must have explained her situation, and just nothing changed. So she continued to live in the apartment next to us and scream and moan. And so I'm already very uncomfortable in this apartment.
Yeah.
But then one night, we hear this loud noise right outside in our parking lot. And I'm like, okay, is someone stealing our catalytic converter again, or is someone just doing fireworks? And then we hear another one, and we're like, that really just doesn't sound like all the other fireworks. And we hear a third one, and then we hear screaming, don't hurt my baby. Don't touch my baby. So we look out the window, and in the parking lot next to ours, where there's just that little chain fence, two people have guns and are shooting each other. And there's this woman with an infant in her arms, like duck and cover, screaming. And we're like, oh shit, we gotta call the cops. And so we did. And we were like, they're full-blown gunshots are happening here. And so the cops rush over. The shooter took off running. The other guy, the bullet only grazed his ear, like he was fine, but the mother and child were just wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh no.
They weren't involved at all. And we ended up reading the police report the next day, and it sounded like a meth deal gone wrong.
Oh no.
And we were like, okay,
Awful.
this is like right after George Floyd. And then there was a shooting like 2 blocks from our apartment, like 2 weeks later.
Oh
After
no,
all that.
that's terrible.
So it was
Oh
like,
man.
so we moved.
Yeah. Good idea. It's a good thing like you weren't out there. Like what if you were just like taking your dog for a walk, or like,
Right. Because we get home from work really late. We don't get normal days. We don't get home until 11:30. And actually, I'm very fortunate in that I get to pick up my husband after we finish this in like an hour. I don't know, whenever it's done. But
yeah,
I get to leave the apartment now, and after all this. But
yeah, I keep seeing people
I know.
past your window. I'm sorry.
No, I can
Do you
see.
see that?
yes, I do.
You were like telling the story, and someone was like,
Yeah.
Yep.
oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, people are like, time to move in the comments.
Let's move to the other one, the St. Paul. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes. That was a good story. All right, Katie, are you our last one?
I think so.
Ooh.
Wow. I've not had experiences, but I was on ye old Google, and I ended up, when you kind of go into like a rabbit hole online, and you're like, oh, 5 hours later, this is not even anything similar to what I was looking at. Well, that happened to me today. And I found some interesting things about one particular house in Los Angeles. Now, I've got like my notes and stuff on my phone. So if I look down, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
But there is a Bavarian styled house in Beverly Hills, and it has a particularly gruesome history, but not just one piece of gruesome history. There's many different ones all in the same building. In 1932, it was home to the iconic actress Jean Harlow and her abusive husband, Paul Byrne, who shot himself in the head while standing in front of the mirror. Their butler discovered him and called MGM instead of the police, so there were tons of rumors that it wasn't actually suicide. Many suspected his ex-girlfriend. A suspicion was her jumping off a boat to her death a couple of days after he had shot himself. Jean moved out after his death because why on earth would you stay in a house with, all that stuff going on? But she died a few years later at the age of 26. But wait, it gets really creepy. In 1963, a celebrity hairstylist called Jay Sebring, sorry if I've said that name wrong, but he bought the home and lived there with his girlfriend, Sharon Tate. So until she left him for Roman Polanski.
Oh, no way.
So they were still friends, and they remained so both until they were murdered by the Charles Manson cult.
Oh my
so this is the exact same house. Tate was the same age as Harlow, the actress that lived there previously in 1932. She was the same age as Sharon Tate when they both died. So they both died at the same age in the same place. But back to when the couple lived in the Harlow house, Tate told several friends of creepy occurrences that happened when she lived there. Even mentions it in interviews about these creepy instances. So she said that when she was sleeping in the master bedroom alone one time, she saw a creepy little man. Her friends say that she believed it to be Paul Byrne's ghost, so the man that lived with Jean Harlow. She was so freaked out when she saw the alleged ghost that she ran out of the room and then saw a hanging, shadowy corpse with its throat slit in the hallway. There's also other stories about 2 other people dying in the swimming pool years and years later after that. All in the same house. Is it a coincidence or is it haunted?
Oh my God.
I don't know. I guess I'll have to go.
I did not expect you to say that, Katie. Oh my God. Wow.
That is creepy.
That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
I will not go to Los Angeles.
Oh,
No.
oh dear. How am I going to sleep tonight? It's 3:30 in the morning here. How am I going to go to bed?
Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh.
How am I going
Yeah.
to bed?
Everyone needs to go watch like The Office or something.
Yes.
Yeah, something really lighthearted.
Frasier.
Oh,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. That's as soon as I like anytime I watch like a scary or a horror movie with my husband, like he's immediately like, all right, time for The Office. Like turns it on. He's like, gotta get that out of my head. Yeah.
oh.
That's my go-to as well. It's just
Yes.
no.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of, a movie we watched like I think it was like a week and a half ago or something was it was called Don't Breathe. I think it's also called A Man in the Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the
amazing.
second one just came out, but I watched the first one. It is very
Isn't
good.
it good?
Very
Yeah.
creepy.
Mhm.
But it's like it like it almost could be like real life. Like it's not like a ghosty type of thing. It's like, you know, real humans.
Yep.
Terrifying.
Mm.
Yes, lots of
Yep.
twists. Like I was like, oh, like during the whole movie. It was very, very good. I highly recommend.
You must watch The Host.
I know.
Oh,
Okay.
You
okay.
have to watch The Host.
I need
And
to
do you
watch
know what? Don't contact me after and tell me that you can't live anymore because it is scary. You
I'm
have
going to write it
enjoy
down
scary
right
films.
now. Yes. I'm gonna
There's-
be like, find it find it
It was
somewhere.
completely filmed during lockdown, so it was just they literally just had to take direction in their own homes. The actors, you know, it was literally just it was just so well acted. It was
Wow.
fantastic,
sounds
really, really
creepy
good.
and good.
Me and my boyfriend absolutely love horror films. We live for horror films.
Yeah.
He collects horror films by the buckets, and that's one of the best ones I've watched this year, definitely.
Yes.
I hope we have it here. I'll have to double.
No, you will. You
Yeah.
definitely
Okay.
Yeah. If I can find it, I might actually include it then in like if it's on something that like Netflix or something that a
You
lot
can
of people
stream,
can
yeah.
get.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might include it in the poll for the next round of Thrill to the Weekend because
How
it
many
sounds
times
like it's
can I
really
vote?
good. Yeah, you can vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you can definitely vote.
Yeah.
Another, if y'all are interested, another show that I watched recently that was really good was called The Night Of, and it's on HBO, I think.
Okay.
And it's following this really sweet, wholesome Pakistani boy.
Mhm.
And he like goes out one night and he wants to go to this party, gets invited to this party, and he was like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do it. And he ends up taking his dad's taxi cab because his friend bailed on him to pick him up.
Yeah.
And this chick just gets in his car and he's like, oh no, I don't know how to turn the off duty light on, like whatever. But she's hot. So he's like, okay, where are you trying to go? And they end up going back to her house and getting into all kinds of like drugs and all kinds of shit. And he wakes up and she's dead. And she's been murdered. And the whole time you're like, why are you doing that? It's going to make you look so guilty. It's going to make you look so guilty. And then you go on from that to where like they're all accusing him of murdering her and he doesn't remember a thing. And so it was really good. It was
That
a really
sounds good.
Yeah.
What The Night of is what it's
The
called?
Night of on HBO.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I wonder if we can get that here.
Yeah.
I wish we had
Find it.
HBO, honestly.
You don't have HBO?
No, we don't have that here.
Oh
No.
my gosh.
Oh, a lot of
What?
people are raving about it.
But we can probably find it somewhere. It will be somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be ways and means.
Yeah, definitely.
Has anyone seen the movie Hush?
Yes, that one is
No.
so good.
That's why
Oh no, is it good?
Yes,
love
and that is on
one.
Netflix. Yeah.
Is it? Oh.
Hush is very, very good.
So
Yes.
It's like the
because the
opposite.
protagonist.
You can explain it. I was gonna say it's like the opposite of Don't Breathe. 'Cause Don't
Mhm.
Breathe
Yeah.
is like
A
he
blind
can't
man.
see.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
and Hush
yeah.
is like she can't hear.
She can't hear, and there's like an
Can't hear.
intruder trying to get into her house.
Oh
That sounds
no.
good.
She makes
Sounds
she
really
makes
good.
all the correct decisions. She does everything
She's
right.
smart.
Yeah.
Like she is smart.
Yeah,
she does
super
things.
smart.
It's just, oh my gosh, Chloe, you scared the crap out of me.
Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
That's
I'll have
funny.
to watch that then. I
Oh,
love
someone
getting
asked-
recommendations.
Have we seen The Undoing? I have not seen that.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's
I
a
don't think I have.
it's an HBO one. I think that's also based on a book, but the book has a different name.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
this shows another one of those Nicole Kidman ones. that She does.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Anybody
is
else
that
have
the-
any other scary movies I need to write down and add to my list?
Is The Undoing the one with the guy from Bridget Jones? What's his name?
Oh, I think
Um,
it might be. I can't remember his name.
Oh my
I have
god.
seen that.
I have no idea.
Nope, I don't know his. I just keep thinking Hugh Jackman, but it's not. It's Hugh. It might be Hugh.
Oh, I can picture who you're talking about, but I don't know
Hugh
his name.
Grant?
Yes.
Hugh Grant.
There's
Yeah.
one with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant.
Yeah, that's the one.
That is
Yep.
it. Okay. No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Those
What
are some
about
good-
Get Out or It Follows? Have you seen any of
Oh,
those?
yes.
Love-
Love both of those.
Love,
Good.
love.
The
You
Only
know,
Follows
I-
is
I'm
like
not
one of the
joking about that.
scariest.
I have
Yeah.
about 500 horror movies sitting on a cabinet here that my boyfriend has collected. And honestly, I could literally list you the best out of those if you ever want recommendations. There's so many good movies out there, honestly.
Yeah.
What is It Follows?
It follows.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Jacqueline.
Nope, you go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're right.
You probably I saw it a while ago. You probably know it better than me.
It's just about a girl basically they have to have intercourse to pass on. It's like a doppelganger kind of film, isn't it, Jacqueline? Where someone's coming after them to kill them and they're seeing things. But,
Yeah.
in order to get rid of this presence, they have to have sex with someone else to pass it
To
on.
like pass
and
it
then
on, but it's
happens to
almost like a
them.
devil. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
following you constantly to kill
constantly
you.
and scaring you. And
Yeah.
really
So you'll like think you ran away from it and you'll like open your bedroom door and it's literally there. And so you like are constantly on the
Yeah.
run. And I hate being like followed or chased or
Yeah.
anything. And like that movie legitimately like scared the crap out of me.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay. It Follows.
Yeah.
It Follows.
It used to be on Netflix, but I don't think it is anymore because I wanted to rewatch it and I was like, damn, now I'm gonna have to figure out where to rewatch it at. But you might be able to get it in Redbox because it was in Redbox for a while too.
Do you guys get Shudder?
And I haven't seen
No,
that.
you heard
No.
of, no, it's like a horror kind of streaming from Amazon Prime. I was going to say it's on Shudder.
Okay. I'll have to look for that. But yeah, you mentioned Get Out, like Get Out and Us and Antebellum.
Mhm.
Those are
Yeah.
so good.
Mhm.
And if
Yeah.
you like cults, you need to watch Midsummer on
Oh,
Amazon
yes.
Prime.
Oh my
Okay.
That is so
goodness.
good.
It was so good. It was so creepy.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that was messed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I loved that one. My husband was like, "You're never allowed to pick a movie ever again."
You're like, but I loved it. What?
Yeah, the sex scenes. He was like,
Oh, that was wild.
"Why are you making me watch this?"
Have you guys heard of that movie? It's not out yet, or it might just recently be out in theaters, but it's called Night House.
Oh
No.
yeah, it is in theaters. Night House and the Candyman.
Oh, the
Candyman
Candyman's
and
out at the
then,
moment here.
Old.
Malignant. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
old Candyman's amazing. Has anyone seen the
Yeah.
original
I have.
I
Candyman?
haven't. No.
Good.
I saw the original Candyman at a drive-in theater when I was like 10.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh
when you were
my
10.
gosh.
And
That's
I was
scary.
terrifying.
I bet.
Wow.
Weird.
Yeah. Have you seen the house one? I haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet, but it looks good.
No.
Yeah, I did watch Old, and that was very good. Loved that because
yeah.
I love like M. Night Shyamalan's like psychological thrillers. I love how his endings like make everything like come full circle. That was a good one.
Spelled
Did you know
old.
that's the
Old, yeah,
I
it was
think
just
it's
in
based-
theaters, like just 2 months ago. So I don't know if it's still there. It might be gone for now. So
I really want to see that one.
I like
Yeah.
that one too.
So good.
Yeah.
Also, if you like slasher films like Friday the 13th or those kind of Scream, that sort of thing, I've watched one recently, two recently, called The Burning
Okay.
and Sleepaway Camp. If anyone's heard of those, watch
I
them.
haven't.
They are deadly. They're brilliant. They're really, really good. If you like slashers, you know, that sort of just yeah, and camps, you know, and they're really good.
Oh yeah,
I
Lana
sort of wish in the UK we had summer camps just to go and sort of experience what it's like to go to a summer camp. Obviously,
You don't
not
have
with
any?
slasher murderers, but you know what I mean. It would be good.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to be murdered as a child in like uniform.
What do you mean you
I'm
don't have
so
summer
clumsy.
camp?
I fall.
We don't have summer camps here. They don't
No.
exist. We don't have anything like
What?
that in the UK. We
What?
don't go to camps with other
Wow.
people in the summer.
I feel
Yeah.
so naive.
The
You know what I
parents in
mean?
the
Yeah.
UK,
Or summer
No.
camps.
the parents in the UK just have to deal with their kids like during the
For
summer.
7 weeks of the year, yeah.
Yeah,
Although we
Wow.
can apply to go and work in a summer camp in America,
yeah, that's true.
you know.
But
It's not
I
the
don't
same
like that.
experience though as like a
Mm.
child getting to go,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Mm.
Man.
All right. Any more scary stories before we wrap it on up? Nope. This was fun though. Like I
just wanna
honestly
turn the
did
light-
not know how it was going. I was like, scary stories in the dark. That sounds good. Let's just do it. I don't know how it's gonna be.
Right
I
idea.
just really want to turn the light back on because I am scared.
Yeah,
I don't
you
want
can
to
turn them on.
move
Go
to turn
ahead.
the lights
Yeah.
on though. Like,
Yeah, you
I
can
don't
turn
want to
them on.
move to do it, but I want them on.
Yeah. Yes. So I think we're going to end the live show here because I think I only have 100, less than 100, a little less than 100 pages left in Infinite. So I think I'm going to try and like just finish it up tonight. And then I think I might get off of work early tomorrow. So I think I'm going to try and binge just a whole book until like I finish it or midnight, whichever comes first. So I can get 2 books read.
Yay.
Yay.
Yes.
Cool.
So,
Well, thank you.
this was
so
really,
much.
really fun.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed
Thank you
this.
so much for having us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Yeah.
coming on. This was really, really fun. Love the reading sprints. I love just even like chatting like about the books, about the movies, about serial killers, about ghosts, all of it. Yeah, that was really
Yeah, this
fun.
has been a blast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
For
you.
anybody that's watching that is in the Discord, if you did read the Buddy Read Infinite, Jordan's actually going to be discussing it in the Discord chat tomorrow. So make sure that you are ready for that. But yeah, tomorrow's the last day. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy how like I wanted to make a shorter readathon, but it's crazy how fast 3 days goes. So I'm glad that we're doing this
Yeah.
multiple times and we can come back to it. But yeah,
Mhm.
definitely like so far the live show and the movie have been like I could care less about reading, honestly. I could just be like, you know what, let's just do a movie and a live show. Who needs to read for a readathon? We don't.
Yeah, we should do this even whenever Thrill of the Weekend is none. Like, it's going to be
Yes.
quarterly. We should do this every month anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
fun.
Yeah. We're gonna have to get all us horror movie fanatics together and be like, every month we're just gonna watch a movie together and chat.
That would be fun.
For anyone that doesn't know, Jordan, what time is that happening tomorrow?
Yes, so I think I'm planning on 12 p.m. Eastern time is when
Mhm.
we'll start spoilers. So like full discussion of everything in the book. So if you haven't finished it by then, I would mute that specific channel within the Discord server, which
Mhm.
you can Google how to do, I'm sure, because you can mute it so it doesn't like pop up on your phone
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, that's probably when I'll post like just a couple discussion questions because I think people, for the most part, will be able to discuss it on their own. But yeah, so if you haven't finished yet, 12 p.m. Eastern is when we'll start discussing it. So you still got a little bit of time.
Yeah. Everybody just stay up and read it. Finish it.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
I'm
to
not going to
finish
go
it
to bed
tonight.
now.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
It's 4 o'clock now.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on, and I hope everyone enjoyed watching the live show, and we'll see you in Discord. And if not, we'll just see you on all of our channels and Bookstagrams instead. So yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.